So one question that I get asked fairly often, quite regularly, is about the devil and about evil in the world. It's well, it's not that hard to understand that there is evil. We see lots of terrible things happening in the world. These terrorist attacks or tragedies that take place, and it's hard to think that there's not some kind of demonic force behind that. But some people will say, even some people who call themselves Catholics might even say they don't really believe in the devil and in evil. Um, I've kind of joked before that I think the devil doesn't mind that people don't think he exists, but he certainly does exist. But it's a topic that gets a lot of interest from people. People are always asking me, or often ask me about exorcisms or people being possessed. I would say that those are fairly rare, but we do believe in good and evil. We believe that we believe in God, but we believe in the devil as well, and that there is a battle going on between good and evil. One mistake would be to consider like good and evil as like equal forces, wondering who's going to win. That's really not the case. It is, we know who's already won. We're kind of just in cleanup mode really until the Lord comes back. A couple of things that are really important to recognize. In the scriptures, there are different titles used for Satan, for the devil. One title that is used is the deceiver, and another title that's used is the accuser of the brethren. And I think those are really, they're helpful terms to understand how the devil works. The devil loves to tell us that we're not really loved by God. And so there's this deception that he tries to bring into our life. He tries to tell us that we're not good enough, that we're really not holy enough, or whatever, we're not enough, and that God could never really love us. We have to resist that because it's not true. I often see this the accuser of the brethren. It often happens when people have been to confession. Perhaps they've confessed something that was hard to confess. It was a serious sin. Sometimes what can happen afterwards is that they get this thought in their minds that they're not really forgiven, that God couldn't forgive them, and that they feel accused of what they've done, even though objectively speaking it's forgiven. That is the devil, because he's the accuser of the brethren. I think there are two mistakes that we can make with the devil. One is to underestimate or undervalue the presence of the devil and evil, underrelate to it. The second is to overrelate to think that somehow evil is everywhere. What we want to do is, and this is a great practice every day in our prayer, to ask for protection. To ask for protection from God against any demons or spirits that would seek to attack us. But also very importantly is when we hear that voice in our head that says you're not loved or you're not forgiven, to resist that. And a great way to resist that is to mention the name of Jesus. At the name of Jesus, our tradition says the demons fly. And so when you hear that voice or you feel tempted, say, Jesus, help me. Jesus, I love you. Jesus, I trust you. In the very name of Jesus is a protection for us. We have nothing to fear because God is with us and he has overcome evil.